The buzz of my phone sliced through the night at 3:14 a.m. Half asleep, I checked the notification, expecting spam. Instead, it was a real estate alert confirming a completed ownership transfer. My pulse hammered as I opened the attached deed. My $5 million beach mansion, the symbol of my sacrifices and the future I planned, was gone. Sold without my knowledge. My parents' signature sat boldly on the contract, declaring me, abroad in Dubai, unavailable and fully consenting. They had forged not only my name, but my presence. The deception felt surgical. They believed I was far away, unaware, dreaming peacefully while they dismantled my life. They didn't know I was in the mansion that night, awake, watching the storm they created, hidden where they least expected. Building my success required more than ambition. It meant working through weekends, accepting contracts others rejected, and sacrificing personal time. Eventually, I purchased the beachfront mansion, not to flaunt wealth, but to reclaim years of effort. My parents visited often, admiring every corner with exaggerated fascination. Yet beneath their compliments, I noticed a peculiar silence whenever discussions about my achievements arose. Their questions shifted from curiosity to calculation. They inspected my home like assessors, not guests. Their jokes about how a house like this deserves grandchildren running inside landed heavier than intended. I thought they were teasing, but envy was slowly hardening into resentment. They didn't crave my happiness. They desired my results. The mansion wasn't evidence of my success. It was their blueprint for entitlement. 2 weeks before the betrayal, my parents pressured me to join them on a family getaway to Dubai. They insisted I needed a break, booked my flight, and packed my luggage themselves. Their eagerness felt unnatural, but I suppressed my discomfort. The hired driver picked me up at dawn, yet instead of heading toward the airport, he stopped at a rundown hostel, claiming plans changed. Alarm bells rang. Rather than confront him, I paid cash, slipped out a side alley, and disappeared. My parents believed I boarded the plane. In reality, I stayed in town, silent, observing. I wanted proof, not suspicions. What unfolded confirmed everything. They weren't inviting me to rest. They were exporting me out of my own life. The morning after they thought I was airborne, my parents welcomed a stranger into my home, a polished investor flanked by lawyers and surveyors. He walked confidently across my living room, issuing instructions like he already owned the place. Architectural plans unfurled across my dining table, erasing my presence with every mark. My parents told him I was unreachable, vacationing abroad without signal access. He nodded, unconcerned. He didn't need me, only my silence. His tone revealed something unsettling. He knew desperation when he saw it. They weren't selling a property. They were liquidating a dream. Watching from the shadows, I realized he saw my parents not as grieving opportunists, but as willing accomplices. They handed him my legacy, and he accepted with open hands. Their betrayal wasn't impulsive, it was engineered. They accessed old scans of my passport and digital documents I once shared with them for emergencies. They mimicked my writing style, forged my digital signature, and granted the buyer irrevocable rights. Every clause silenced a part of my identity. The contract read like a confession I never made. The most devastating line claimed I willingly relinquished all ownership due to relocation. My parents had rewritten my life as if I were grateful to abandon it. My name appeared everywhere, yet nowhere did I exist. I wasn't deceased, but I was legally hollow, a ghost anchored to a house I no longer owned. They didn't just steal property. They erased the version of me they couldn't control. Champagne bottles popped in my living room as they celebrated the sale, assuming I was continents away. Laughter echoed through a space I built, twisting joy into mockery. Then I stepped forward. My father's glass slipped, shattering against the floor. My mother's smile died mid-breath. They stared at me as though the walls had come alive. Without raising my voice, I placed my laptop on the table. One click revealed timestamps, recordings, forged emails, and footage of negotiations conducted in my home. Every deception they hid, I had captured. Their shock wasn't guilt, it was realization. Their plan relied entirely on my absence. My existence turned their celebration into a crime scene. They hadn't just betrayed me, they documented their downfall. The courthouse smelled of polished wood and tension. My parents entered flanked by lawyers, hiding behind age and sentiment. They expected sympathy, convinced that judges bend for parents. The prosecution didn't see a family dispute. They saw identity theft, property fraud, and premeditated manipulation. My parents wept, claiming misunderstanding, yet the evidence spoke louder than tears. The buyer withdrew, unwilling to anchor his empire to a criminal scandal. The judge restored my rights and issued charges that dissolved any illusion of familial protection. In that room, lineage had no currency. I wasn't a child defending innocence. I was a victim reclaiming agency. The verdict didn't heal me, but it returned what they tried to bury. I renovated the mansion after the trial, not as a trophy, but as a monument to self-preservation. The ocean breeze no longer carried dreams, it carried clarity. My parents never apologized. They linger in silence, orbiting my existence like satellites out of range. They observe the life I rebuilt, yet cannot enter it. Each sunrise reflects off the glass walls I restored, reminding me that strength isn't born from wealth, it's forged through betrayal endured. The beach house survived their greed. I survived their absence. The waves don't erase memories. They refine them. Family may share your blood, but loyalty shapes your legacy. Mine wasn't stolen. It was reclaimed.